So welcome everyone to our launch of Fridays at 4 with Next Gen and New York State Society of CPAs. Our topic today is going to be on Zoom etiquette. I'm Crystal Lee, VP of Recruitment with Searchmasters, and also your Next Gen Leader President. We have today joining us as our speaker, Joanna Lovering. She is an organizational psychologist and style coach. She is also the founder of Copper and Rise. For over 10 years, she has transformed and enhanced the employee experience at companies like JetBlue, NBC Universal, Tiffany and Company. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Joanna.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be launching your inaugural Fridays at 4. This is so great. Thank you, everyone, for having me. Well, thank you, Crystal, for having me. I don't know if anyone else had any say in it. But I'm so thrilled to be here. I am sitting in my apartment in Manhattan, and it's raining. And I'm going to bring a little bit of the energy to you for this Friday afternoon. This is going to be an interactive, hopefully fun and informative session all about how to optimize this little rectangle that you're in right now in order to make your Zoom meetings the best they can possibly be. Now, what we're not going to talk about today are things like how to write an agenda for a Zoom meeting or how to conduct your meetings in an engaging way. That's a separate workshop. What this workshop is all about is setting yourself up with intention for success, so everyone who's watching you is going to be engaged. How does that sound? Can I get a thumbs up? All right, Margaret, do I get a thumbs up? Okay, thank you. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna get going. I'm not gonna be sharing slides the entire time, but just for some of the time. So this workshop is officially called Presenting Yourself Authentically and Professionally on Video Calls with Joanna Lovering. Say that 10 times fast. No, don't. Okay, here in our very short time together, we already did the intro. Thank you so much, Crystal. I do want to talk about what are our intentions for video calls. I'll get into that in a moment. And then how do we achieve those intentions with best practices for the following? Wardrobe, background. I got a lot of tools here, everybody. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck in 30 minutes, okay? Wardrobe, background, lighting, camera placement, and optimizing nonverbals as well. Just a few ground rules. Please participate. This is an intimate group where we can definitely have a little chat here and there. Go ahead and type your questions in the chat. I have assigned Crystal to our chat, so I won't miss any of the questions. And I'm perfectly fine with being interrupted to answer a question in the moment. You'll notice in the agenda, there's no Q&A. That's because Q&A will be during the session. Please, Zoom etiquette, mute when you're not talking and turn your video on if you can. And if we are going to participate, I'm just going to ask everyone to stay on topic. There's a lot going on in the world today that I'm sure we could talk about for a long time. But today we are going to stay on topic with Zoom etiquette. I also just want to let you know that if you want to take out your phones and text Copper to 66866, you'll be put on my mailing list and you'll get automatically some additional resources. I'll remind you of that later, but again, Copper to 66866. All right, I'm gonna get going. Can I get a thumbs up from the group that we're okay with the agenda and ground rules? Is anybody not okay with the agenda and ground rules? Then get out of here. No, I'm kidding. Okay, here we go. All right. So I have a question for all of you, and I'd like for you to answer in the chat. My question to you is, when you're on a Zoom call, how do you want the other meeting attendees to perceive you? How do you want the other meeting attendees to perceive you on your Zoom calls? Go ahead and type it in the chat. Oop, beep, beep, beep. I'm gonna stop sharing so I can see. Stop share. There we go. Okay, what do we got going on? Ooh, Crystal is a Zoom extraordinaire. I love it. Margaret, efficient, yes. Rebecca, professional and approachable. Aisha is confident. Pia, positive, enthusiastic, and attentive. Aisha said professional as well. How about Daquan? What do you got? Come on, write it in. Rob, how do you want the other people in the meeting to perceive you? Aisha said knowledge. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. With good lighting, Philip says. Yeah, that's all he wants. He just wants to look good, everybody. Okay. Aisha's knowledgeable. Okay. Me too. Yes, Aisha wants to look good too. Okay, well, I'll talk a little bit about lighting. Never really thought about how I'm being perceived. I just wanted to get results in the meeting. It's usually voice meetings. Ooh, I love this. Thank you so much for sharing this. Is it Deneve? Did I get that right? Yes? Okay. Hey, thank you. Love that. You never really thought about how you're being perceived. I'm so glad you're here. I'm absolutely so glad you're here. Believe it or not, everyone, when we think about communication as a pie, and we break that pie into the types of communication that we can give to other people, whether it's speaking, whether it's the tone that I have, like, you know, Ben Stein talks like this and he's very monotone, or the way I look when I'm speaking, like I'm moving around a lot, or if I'm smiling or frowning. Believe it or not, it's more than half of the impact of communication comes just from the way you look. Think about that for a second. More than half of the impact of your communication comes from literally the way you look, which includes body language, as well as outfit, hair, makeup, backgrounds. P.S. What you say, the words you say, it's only 7% impact on communication. Whoa. How many times have you practiced the actual words and rewritten your speeches or rewritten whatever you're going to say in a meeting when it's over half of the impact is on what you look like? To be honest with you, I kind of hate that. There's a part of me that's like, ew, that's gross. But that's the way humans work, that we take in the sight information first. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share the next slide with you. What I'd like for you to do, let me share the slide before I tell you what to do. Hold on a second. Okay, sharing, you see Zoom, okay? There we go. Now, I want you to imagine that this is the person that you're on the Zoom call with. Let's call her Anna. Okay? What I'd like for you to do is write in the chat, what are the first things that you notice? What are the things that are calling out to you? The things that she could do better? Whatever it is, throw it in there, in the chat. And Crystal, can you help me? Can you shout out some of the answers that we're getting? Because I can't see the chat right now.
Sure. So the nice, her hair, dark face, seemed distracted. She's not looking at us.
Yep.
Yep. Small kitchen, small apartment, eye contact. Must live in New York.
Yeah. Go. Keep going, everybody. What are the first things that come into your mind? I love this. This is great.
Clean kitchen, though. She looks stressed. Definitely looks distracted.
Okay.
And she looks tired.
Okay. Love it. Awesome. You guys, you're absolutely right. And your perceptions are your truth. So this person could be awake as all heck, but you're seeing her as tired, right? You're seeing her as distracted when maybe she was taking notes. Granted, this is a static picture, I realize, but there are lots of oh, who said, ooh, small kitchen must live in New York? Who said that?
That would be Yosaida.
Okay, Yosaida. Okay.
Well, she was the one who said must live in New York, and then someone else mentioned small kitchen.
Love it. So just from this one picture, I just want to say, look where your minds are going. Just from this one picture, you're so distracted that you're like, oh, does she live in New York? What kind of knives are those? Is that a rice cooker? What kind of painting is that? Oh gosh, her lights are so bright. Why is her kitchen so dark? Is she wearing pajamas? Right? So by the way, those are not pajamas, but anyway. So just a simple picture is going to make an impression about Anna, or I was pointing to me because that is me, but it's going to make an impression on you. So why not make some decisions ahead of time for intentionally setting yourself up for success? That's where we're at for this session today. Basically, set yourself up for success so then you don't have to think about any of that stuff so you can get the results during the meeting. So I'm now going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, great. And I'm going to share with you some of my best practices for how to set this rectangle up. Hopefully now we understand the impact. Like the last thing I want for all of you is to think that I'm, wearing pajamas at a meeting. All right, so here's my question, and I want you to write this in the chat as well. I can talk about a lot of different things, but I want to know what is most important for you. You saw the list: wardrobe, backgrounds, lighting, camera placement, and nonverbals. I'll show you this list again. I want to know what your top 2 topics are. So here's the list right here: wardrobe, background, lighting, camera placement, and nonverbals. Because we only have until 4:30, I want to know what piques your interest the most. Give me your top 2 in the chat. Wardrobe, background, lighting, camera placement, and nonverbals. All right. Lighting and background, wardrobe, lighting. Love it.
Wardrobe, our top 2 what?
Sorry?
Top 2 what?
Would be the top 2 wardrobe, background, lighting, camera placement, or nonverbals? What are the top 2 for you to get out of the rest of this meeting today?
Yes. Background, lighting. Okay, I'm seeing all of them. Yes, okay. Make sure you text COPPER to 66866 and you'll get more information. Yostaira. I don't know if I said that correctly. All right. Okay, so I'm seeing that most people want to talk about lighting for sure, and a lot of people want to talk about wardrobe. So those are the 2 that I'll start with, and then if we have time, we'll move on to the rest. Sound good? Okay, let's talk about lighting best practices. So I'm sure many of you have seen, this is a real BTS moment, everybody, but you've probably seen on Instagram people having ring lights, okay? You do not need a heavy duty ring light for your Zoom meetings. I have this because I do a lot of things on Instagram. So I'll tell you what to buy and I'll tell you where to put it. First of all, in general, if you can get natural lighting from a window or from the sun is better in general than anything that isn't natural. If you do have the ability to have a window near you, do yourself a favor and don't sit in front of it. You want that window to be either to your side or directly in front of you. How many of you have gone to a meeting where someone is sitting in front of a window and they're in complete silhouette, like they're in the witness protection program or something. Yeah? Yes? Okay. So we all know from our iPhones taking pictures that a backlit picture is no good. So you're gonna put your window either to the side or directly in front of you. If it's nighttime or monsoon season and you don't really have a lot of natural light, you're gonna do the same thing with like plug-in lights. So you saw that I have my ring light. It's pretty much directly in front of me right now. If you don't want to purchase that, by the way, it's like $60 on, oh, okay, there we go, Crystal. Crystal has a light bowl. Yeah, there you go. I would also recommend this guy. This guy, and I will send you a link to this. This guy is a little Clippy Light. Oh, look at Aisha. You've got your ring light too. All right, yes. But this guy is so great. Just a little Clippy Light. Has 3 brightness settings, and all I do is I put it on my laptop and I put the camera through the hole here, and it lights me up really well. So this guy is 20 bucks. Found it on this amazing website. They have everything. It's called Amazon.com. I don't know if you've heard of it. That was a joke, you guys. That was a joke. Come on. All right. So I'll send you a link to this. All right. But just remember, natural lighting, typically better than not natural lighting. And you always want to place your lighting either directly in front of you or to the side. If you wear glasses, you're probably going to see a glare if you put the light directly in front of you. So definitely put it to the side. Even better if you put 2 lights on either side of you. Then there won't be a shadow, especially if you wear glasses. That's my spiel with lighting. Any questions that I can answer? What about on a rainy day like this and it gets super dark?
You already answered it.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. During monsoon season, I mean, you'll see, I don't know if you can see, but oh, please don't knock over my water. Okay, so I have a window directly next to me, but today, because it's really overcast and yucky out, I also turned on the ring light as well. On a sunny day, the incandescent light, the ring light won't make a difference at all. Any other question about lighting? Okay, you got it. Rock and roll. Okay. The next thing that everybody wanted to talk about was wardrobe. Yes? Thumbs up? Okay, wardrobe. This is my bag of tricks. So my company, I'm a style coach. I have lots of years of experience in the world of leadership development, and my creative passion is fashion styling. So I've melded those two together. I have worked with a lot of clients that go on TV on a regular basis. So all of these tips are tips that I use for my clients when they're on set. Here it is. Number 1, the colors to wear on camera. The best colors to wear are muted earth tones. What do I mean by that? I mean a light, like a cream. This is like an ivory cream, like a light tan, a light pink, light blue, light yellow. Any sort of saturated, bright color might mess with your camera. That's the thing. You will see some newscasters wear bright colors, but they're working with HD cameras, and frankly, our cameras on our laptops are not that high tech. Sure of this, especially if you wear a bright red, color will start to bleed off of you and it'll look like heat waves. Margaret, you seen this? Margaret's going like this. Have you seen this? Yeah? So I actually have a picture that I will send to you of Samantha Bee in one of her most recent episodes, for those of you who watch Samantha Bee, she loves her blazers. And she was wearing this bright red, like fire truck red blazer, and the red was emanating off of her and going into her hair. It was very fuzzy and it looked strange. So best ideas are to wear muted earth tones so that you are the star of the show. I'm very sorry to all the New Yorkers on this call, but the color to not wear is black. I'm really sorry. Here's the problem with black. You will, P.S., I will bet you money that you will never see a newscaster wear all black, because even HD cameras can't deal with black. It's because the cameras can't pick up where the folds are, where the buttons are. They don't see the pattern or the texture. So what ends up happening is that you're a floating head on a black blob, and that is not a good look. So I'm sorry, New Yorkers, but we gotta stay away from black on camera. I'm very sorry, Denise. I see that you have black here. Oh, it's red, it's red. Okay. And let's also talk about print and pattern. So I am a print girl myself. I love prints. Oh, wait, I've seen bright green, which is hilarious to see. Yes, Margaret. Yeah, that's also, for television, really bad idea to wear green because it looks like you're wearing the invisibility cloak, right? Okay, print and pattern really quickly. Again, you want you to be the star of the show for these Zoom calls, not what you're wearing. So my recommendation is to wear a pattern that's small without a lot of contrast. So for instance, a black and white pattern that has a lot of contrast, and people are going to zero in on that. My recommendation is, if you're going to do a print, maybe a small floral print, something small that you can't really tell it's a print. But a large, loud print is going to distract people, and that's not the goal. Because don't forget, you want to come off professional and put together. So on this little screen, this little tiny thing, you are the star of the show. And it's copper to 66866. Copper, which is the color of my hair. Yeah. I've heard that stripes are avoided on TV because it shows up blurry. Yes, that's absolutely true. Anytime there is a high contrast between the colors, there's a chance that the camera can blur it out. So stripes are also not great on camera either. 1 minute warning. Thank you, Crystal. Oh my gosh. Okay, can I just talk about camera placement really quickly? I'm gonna do it because it has to do with TV as well. So I think you'll all notice, I hope you'll all notice, that I'm looking straight into the camera right at you right now. That's because my laptop is lifted up a little bit so that the camera is at my eye level. How many of us have gone to meetings where people are talking to us like this, right? Like, this is not my best angle, everyone. I'm not into this. I'm also not really into this because this is not reality either. So, so be like a newscaster and lift up your laptop. By the way, it doesn't have to be special. You guys, this is the box from the liquor store. I mean, I'm not fancy here. Now you know how I'm getting through this pandemic. But this is very good whiskey, by the way, just so you know. But it doesn't have to be fancy. Just get a box. Put your laptop up on it. I see that it's 4:30. There's so much more to talk about. I'm happy to stay for another 10 minutes or so if you wish. And I say unmute. If you'd like to stay, unmute yourselves and I can answer any of your questions. And if you need to leave, thank you so much. We'll be sending you a recap and make sure copper to 66866.
All right, gotta head out. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Bye-bye.
Can we squeeze in the background? Thank you.
Backgrounds, absolutely. Okay, I love it. Background is a huge one. And we also saw like Rob was using a virtual background as well. So we'll talk about that too. Backgrounds. In general, I'm gonna make a blanket statement. That's my opinion, is that a less crowded or cluttered background, the better. Again, because you are the star of the show. I will never forget, quick story, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was watching a live stream on YouTube. It was for Stephen Sondheim's birthday, and all of these Broadway actors were singing his songs, and they were in their homes, right? I will never forget, I don't even remember who it was. I don't even remember what song she was singing, but she was sitting in front of her bookcase. Now, you have seen many people, especially on the news, guests on late night shows where they have the bookcases behind them. Well, guess what I was doing the entire time? I was looking at what books she reads. And I will never forget that there was one book, and it was Ancient Irish Erotica. I'm sorry that you're recording this, but I will never forget that this woman had this crazy book on her bookshelf. So I was paying attention to that, and I wasn't paying attention to her singing. So another reason why we should not have clutter behind us, because that's what people are going to look at. How many of you saw the knives in my kitchen, right? How many of you saw the Instant Pot that maybe you thought was a rice cooker, right? So a cleaner background, the better. Now, virtual backgrounds. I think virtual backgrounds are cool for a laugh or for humor, right? One person the other week showed up in the middle of Jurassic Park, and that was funny. But then we had to get down to business, and the person took off the virtual background. So I'm not crazy about virtual backgrounds for the entire time that we're together, because you know that they're not perfect. You know that there's like disappearing hands. You can't see the definition of the hair. You'll get braces on your teeth, right, Crystal? So and that causes distraction. So if we can find a spot in our home that's clean enough that people aren't distracted, I think that's the best way to go. What else? We can talk about nonverbals. Maybe I think Crystal, you want to talk. Oh, look at Aisha. She's dancing for me. Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead, Joanna.
The nonverbal dance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm teasing, but I did notice more recently that Crystal has been using more hand gestures in her virtual meetings. And I could see the emphasis and how it made a difference in her presentation. Like, unlike right now she looks a little stiff, but it really does make a difference. And I think for me, I'm trying really not to be seen, even though I'm in a virtual reality, because I would never do something like this. Only now there is no choice. This is the only way.
This is.
And by the way, I actually learned that from Joanna, just from having a prep call with her.
So let me tell you about nonverbal. So there are a few tricks that I have up my sleeve that will show automatically that you are engaged. Because I think that's like the number one fear for anyone who's conducting a meeting, right? That you fear that people are going to be distracted, that you're boring, and people aren't going to be listening, right? So one of the biggest nonverbals that I would suggest is to have your hands shown in the rectangle as often as possible, because thank you, Crystal. that tells people that you're not on your phone. You're not, I don't know. I mean, how many times are people like typing to be like, I'm typing to you in the chat right now, right? So at least if my hands are showing, the person knows that like I'm with them. And if you are going to type or write notes, I do have a notebook here. I'm one of those losers with a notebook. Have a pen in your hand the whole time. So then at least if you go from here to here and back again, people know why you did that. So the pen in your hand is a really good tool to signal to people. Yes, I see that Pia got her yellow pen, girl. All right.
Quick question. What if you're taking notes on the phone, like in 2020?
Yeah. Hey. Hey. So if I were you and you were going to have your phone out, I would let the person know, and maybe even depending on the team and depending on who's in the meeting, I would actually let everybody know, whether it's audibly or in the chat, just so people know that you're not distracted. You're actually being quite diligent, but they might see your phone, right? So how are they supposed to know? So I would actually say something, and I think they would really appreciate it. Now that the nail salons have opened, hey. Okay, anyway. The other nonverbal that I want to stress, this is such a trick up my sleeve too. Okay, how many of you look at yourself when you're talking? I mean, how can you not? Okay. Now, we all know that when we're in person, eye contact is a great way to let someone know that you're engaged and that you're present, right? So you can manipulate this idea of eye contact on Zoom. The way to do that is just to look into the camera. It's weird. I've practiced this for years because all I want to do is look at myself, which I'm right here. But instead, if you can look into the camera, people will then feel like you really see them. It's a complete hack, and it takes practice. But try. Now, granted, I always have everybody on gallery view. I prefer gallery view every time. So let's say if Margaret, you're going to talk, I'm going to look at you here. Philip, I'm going to look at you here. That's fine. But then once I start presenting again, I'm going to look back into the camera. This takes practice. And then I would also, if you can, another way to show people that you're engaged and that you're with it and present is it's always like these nonverbals, like the and the yes, I get it. I mean, I'm very expressive. If you can't tell, I'm of Italian descent, so I talk like this all the time. But don't forget, especially if someone has you in gallery view, everyone, you're tiny on their screen. You're like this big. So if you want someone to know that you're there and you're listening, over exaggerate your ahas or your no's or your I have a question, because you're so small. Like, you probably wouldn't do that in person. You'd be like, but on Zoom, just because you're so small and you want people to know that like that you're with it, you're engaged. That's my nonverbal spiel. I feel like we've touched upon everything. Are there any additional questions? Okay, I'm just gonna
Shy, guys.
Yeah. Rebecca gave me the clap emoji. Thank you, Rebecca. All I want to do is just share with you again, text COPPER to 66866 for additional resources. And if you don't feel like doing that, here is all of my contact information. I have that thing called Instagram for those of us living in 2020. No, kidding. Actually, that would be TikTok, and I'm not on TikTok. But this is my information. Check out my website. And I forgot to say, everyone here, thank you so much for coming. Everyone here gets a a free 30-minute consultation with me. You just have to contact me. So again, a free 30 minutes. So I hope that I get to see all of you individually. And thank you so much for being here. And oh, thank you, Philip. Oh, awesome. I didn't know you were a professor. I'm thrilled to help.
Oh, absolutely. This was very helpful. And I think as we move towards online learning for those that are going to utilize this platform a lot more, it's very helpful advice. So thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right, and this will be recorded for anyone that wasn't here during the session. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, and have a great weekend, everyone. Stay dry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you.